Hello out there. I was just getting some encouragement, I guess, from another 80-year-old YouTube person. You said, don't give up, basically, don't give up. So I guess I'm going to keep at it. Well, my graphs on YouTube Studio, the creator interface, are kind of flatlined. I think the patient has given up the ghost. At least it appears that way from the graph, kind of flatlined down toward the bottom. But weird things happen, so we'll keep going. One of the things that's encouraging is it's quite educational. And I'm one of those lifetime learner persons. I enjoy learning, but it's educational to do the research for these videos to have something to contribute to the vast unseen audience. And in this case, researching South America in terms of expatriation. And we've got some information here we've taken in from the unintelligent artificial, which is extremely handy for collating information and data. Now, these are the 12 countries and one little chunk of France in South America, French Guiana. And the last two, so I got a list of all these guys, all these countries. The last two are the USA and French Guiana, and amazingly, French Guiana is more expensive than the USA, and both of them are far beyond, in cost, the rest of South America. In the case of France, in the case of French Guiana, it is a part of France. The regulations the EU has on food, which the Brits didn't like, part of the reason they left the EU, those regulations keep the price up. It means a lot of stuff has to actually sail across the Atlantic to land in French Guiana so they can buy it. So we'll start with them. This is a market basket comparison. The fruit, and that's the bananas. Vegetables, that's tomatoes. Meat is beef. Fish is some white fillet. And then we got the basket total. For instance, in French Guiana, 2 pounds of bananas will cost you $1.80. It's not too bad. They must grow them there. In the U.S., the 2 pounds of bananas are $1.45. The vegetables in French Guiana, which is to say 1 kilo or 2 pounds of tomatoes, $5. In the States, 50 cents cheaper, $4.50 for 2 pounds of tomatoes. Beef in French Guiana, $14 for a kilo for 2 pounds. In the USA, $12.50 per kilo. Fish in the USA, $13.30 per kilo. That sounds kind of low. I think in Maine it's about $13 a pound. Seems to me. In French Guiana, the pound of the kilo, the 2 pounds of fish fillet is $15. Now this market basket, which is 5 items at 2 kilos each. So help me. That's 10. That's 20. About 20 pounds of stuff. $35.80 in French Guiana and $31.75 in the U.S. Let's look at these other countries. Bolivia, those 2 pounds of bananas cost you 65 cents. In Peru, 2 pounds of bananas, 80 cents. In Brazil, 90. In Argentina, $1.15. And here in good old Ecuador, where I live, 55 cents. And are we the cheapest? Yeah, we're the least expensive, which is not surprising. The president of the country, you didn't know bananas were magnetic, but he's a banana magnet. Name is Daniel Noboa, and he's the child of the owner of the biggest banana company in the country, I believe. They're down toward Guayaquil. Anyway, he knows bananas, I'm sure. 55 cents for 2 pounds here. I certainly bought enough of them. In Colombia, 85 cents for 2 pounds. In Paraguay, 60 cents. That's pretty inexpensive. In Chile, which imports $1.25. In Uruguay, $1.40 for the 2 pounds. In Suriname, $1.30. In Guyana, $1.10. Venezuela, $1.20. And a few of those places will grow their own bananas, but then if we get into vegetables, Bolivia for 2 pounds of tomatoes, 70 cents. In Peru, $1.20. In Brazil, $1.15 for those that 1 kilo or 2 pounds of tomatoes. Argentina, just 90 cents. And in Ecuador, $1.40. And I certainly buy plenty of tomatoes there. I love them. Colombia, $1.35. In Paraguay, $1.50. $1.45 in Chile. In Uruguay, $2.10. Suriname, $2.50. In Guyana, $2.20. And in Venezuela, $2.80. Now, getting over to beef, Bolivia, $4.50 for 2 pounds. In Peru, $4.80. In Brazil, $5.20. Argentina, $5.50. Ecuador, $6.20. So it's fairly expensive here, but I long since stopped chewing on beef. In Colombia, $6.50. In Paraguay, $6. In Chile, $9.50, kind of expensive there. Uruguay, $10, which is kind of surprising since they're right next to Argentina. Suriname, $9, and Guyana, $8.50. Venezuela, $8, and that's for 2 pounds of beef. Let's see, what do we have here? Let's Argentina. Yeah, Argentina, $5.50, so that's $2.75, right? $2.75 per pound. For fish in Bolivia, $3, 2 pounds. Peru, $2.50. Brazil, $3.40. In Argentina, $3.80, and $3.20 in Ecuador. Unfortunately, we're not at the coast, so it's not as available here. It's available, but it's brought in. It comes up the slope from from the Pacific. Colombia, $3.15 for 2 pounds of fish. Paraguay, $4.50. Chile, $4.10. In Uruguay, $5. In Suriname, $6. It's kind of surprising. Right on the water. Guyana, $7.50. Venezuela, $8.50. That's very strange. And the USA, $13.30. And French Guiana, the most expensive, $15. Now, you add all this up for the roughly 20 pounds of food in a basket, which would probably be a week's worth for me easily. I'm sure it would. Bolivia, that basket is $8.85. In Peru, $9.30. In Brazil, $10.65. In Argentina, $11.35. And the same in Ecuador, $11.35 for that basket. And let's compare that real quick to the United States. It's 3 times more it's 3 times more in French Guiana than it is here. In Ecuador, it's $11.35. In the U.S., it's $31.75, not quite 3 times. But in French Guiana, it's $35. So I did ask the AI if very many estadounidenses, people from the U.S. or from Canada, were living in French Guiana, and it said 0.1%. And they undoubtedly work for the spaceport. In Colombia, $11.85. In Paraguay, $12.60. And $16.30 in Chile. $18.50 in Uruguay. In Suriname, it's $18.80. And then in Guyana, $19.30. And we're all the way up to $20.50 in Venezuela. So that's an idea of the price of a basket of food here in the continent. Something to think about. Food's really important. And don't worry, it's fresher than what you might get in the United States or Canada because it doesn't have to travel quite so far. I think the stuff we get here travels about an hour. You know, they pull it out of the field yesterday or the day before, and it gets down here for the Sunday market. About as fresh as you can get. So, that's an idea of some of the reduced expenses that we have down here. In addition to the peace and quiet, your money will go a lot further. So I hope you're having a nice day and you're not spending too much money and you're enjoying the weather. It's kind of overcast here, but it'll clear out, I think. We're out of the wet season and into the dry season. Hope it's a nice dry season without drought. You know, dry is one thing, drought is another. You take care of yourself. We'll see you again. Ciao.